it's me, Renee. I'm back. And yeah, I didn't post anything yesterday because, well, simply didn't. The day kind of flew by, and yeah. But I'm here today. Here today with a bit of a Norwegian focused video, because today is Norway's National Day. The 17th of May. We're celebrating getting our constitution. Was supposed about to say most countries do, but I suppose some countries do. I'm pretty sure do like celebrate the Liberation Day, like when they're free of the colonizers. Like the National Day in Latin America. I'm pretty sure that's often based around when they were free from Spain. But Norway has never been. Well, it's never been. We used to be a colony of Denmark. I suppose we have, but I mean that was Denmark, and we got quite a lot of rights. So it's never like been a difficult time for Norway in that way. But yeah, we got a constitution in 1814. The constitution wasn't perfect, but it was ours. And yeah, that's what we're celebrating this day. And why I have a Norwegian themed video. So I said I'm going to talk about some English books that don't exist in Norwegian that I kind of feel like would be fun to translate it. Those was a more broad and a more broad and writer. Oh, that's wrong also. More correct answer to that question of like books that don't exist in Norwegian but in English, like I suppose a more correct or general is like all the good books. And yeah, I mean a lot of Norwegians are perfectly able to read in English, but not everyone is. And also like there's a lot of okay, I read mostly English, but yeah, there's quite a lot of really good Norwegian translators. So I mean, like having books in Norwegian and English, it just opens up for so many people. Like for the people who are dyslexic, for the people who want to start to read but maybe too scared to read in English. I mean, it just opens up the market of what books you can read so much, because in English it's a huge market. In Norwegian, like if you want to read fantasy, you have to read English. There's more or less zero of that in Norwegian. Well, it's not zero, but like that's not a lot. It's not a lot. If you want to read, well, I was about to say, if you want to read romance, there is, but and the Norwegian romance books are really good. If you want to read rom-com books, there's very few of them, good ones. So like yeah, I suppose some genres exist, but not like in a big way. And yeah, yeah. Let's get to some of those. And yeah, I'm just gonna start the video for real. I suppose maybe you'll ask me like, what do you do on your National Day? Which yeah, kind of talk about starting the video, and I didn't. But I suppose I'm just gonna tell you a bit about National Day. On National Day in Norway, we eat a lot of ice cream. Like there's a contest of like eating as much ice cream as you want. You can have like a friend of mine did like 6 in one day, and some people like do 12, and yeah, it's like allowed to read to eat a lot of ice cream. You also eat sausages, and so it's kind of like it's very easily. It's not really fancy food. It's kind of the everyday farmer's food in a way. Uh, and then in the beginning of the day, there's okay. So we have marching bands have like a big focus in today, like with people marching bands who march in different marches, and then they of course do different the different Norwegian national anthems. Like they do different songs about Norway, like Norway in different colors, and then national anthem and what have you. And then there's also a big part of Norwegian National Day is kind of like the marches in general. The marches. I mean, we do like yeah, marching. Parading is the word I'm thinking about. Parading. Well, I mean, you have the Women's March, but then there's also parades. I'm thinking parades is more celebratory, and marches are more demonstration based. Am I wrong there? Anyway, yeah, parades. Parades when you walk after each other in a line, but kind of funner because that just sounds weird to just walk after each other in a line. But you know what I mean. I'm thinking. And yeah, I mean, there's parades with your kindergarten. Of course, we have kindergartens all over. It's Norway. We have parades with your school, and then you have parades for like the public that are kind of like based around where you work. So yeah, there's parades during more or less the whole day. The parade in the capital goes by the castle, and the king and queen wave. Kind of like people always think like, the job for the king is to wave at the 17th of May, because that's kind of like the main thing. Though they do other stuff as well. They're very famous for standing on the balcony, waving, and yeah. So there's that. Yeah, I would say that's basically it. Ice cream parades, and yeah, and also you also have games like yeah, National Day, it's very like kids focused. So you have games for the kids. So if you're under 12, you'll love it. Though I suppose also like if you're older, you probably also like it. Like if you're under 12, it's games and ice cream and parades. And if you're like between 20 and 40, you might have like a champagne for breakfast where you have champagne. And then you have like a elaborate breakfast. No, usually no, you don't really have an elaborate breakfast, but this day you do. So we have scrambled eggs, you have focaccia, etc., etc. And yeah, it's kind of the kind of main staples of National Day. And yeah, also yeah, I forgot to go be a little small thing, but okay. Maybe you might ask yourself, what did you do today, Renee? I spent today with a friend and her family. She has family close to where we live. I don't have Lauritz, but yeah. So we went around to her family, like her sister and her kids, and then her brother, and had brunch there, and yeah, it was nice. And yeah, like to like the rest of the day, I'm just kind of think of relaxing and yeah, not really having that many plans. You might also be like, why are you filming a BookTube video on your National Day? Well, because I want to. I want to. Like, this is a hobby of mine, and if I want to film, I will film. It's as easy as that. And yeah, now let's get to the books. So yeah, first some Norwegian books some English books that I kind of feel like would be very cool to read in Norwegian. They're like having Norwegian for the Norwegian market. So of course, first we have the Personal Protected series, or I would say more or less kind of thinking. You know what I think about it? All the Gail Cargo books. So the Gail Cargo books, they exist in Danish and Swedish, but not in Norwegian. And also a lot of books translated to Swedish. But Norwegian, no, we don't really translate books. I think it's because a lot of us read in English, but like still, like what about people who don't read English? And also like the books, they often get most attention when it's kind of translated, even though like so like a Colin Hoover book might get lots of attention today, like if it's been translated today, but it came out 2-3 years ago in English. So we're kind of behind it that way. It kind of feels weird. And anyway, yeah, Gail Carriger. I mean, I mean, I think just in general, having more fantasy books in Norwegian would be nice and fun. I mean, we have lots of cool words we can use for fantasy stuff. I mean, it's not like we can't translate fantasy. And yeah, just love this gem of a series, the Alexia Turbotti series or the Personal Project. It's just so lovely. I mean, when I found the first book, it was described as Jane Austen with supernatural elements. And I was like, that's kind of true because there's this high society elements, but there's also supernatural werewolves and vampires and intrigue. And yeah, it's just a great big world, which I just kind of think it would be nice for more people to be able to enjoy. And I think also, like, for example, like my parents, they can read English. I mean, they read. I mean, they've traveled all over the world. They've lived in the U.S. They've lived in Australia. So they like mostly a lot of the time they read academics in English, and they kind of want to read like when they read fun, they want to read in Norwegian. So I think also like there's probably a lot of people in Norway that can read English, but maybe they prefer to read Norwegian because for some reason or other. And then it will be fun to have translations of this masterpiece, for example. And also, you might see I have a bookmark in it. I started rereading it last year, 2 years ago. Haven't gotten that far. Yeah, I'm a mood reader, but it's a reread. And yeah. So yeah, this one or this universe, this character, this offer, anything by Gale, basically. And then we have the Friend Zone, or again, anything by Abby Jimenez. Well, right now she just has 3 books, but she's coming up another one soon, if it's already out, you know. Um, and this is just a lovely rom-com, though. Okay, sorry, I just said it's rom-com. Okay, I would say, oh, sorry, it's the wrong thing. I would say it's a romance with a lot of all the elements in a way, because it's her books has a lovely, amazing romances, but there's also always this quite great character looks and great character studies. That sounds so dumb. The great character studies, not in that way, but like the characters feel so fleshed out and so real, and like they have so much more going on than like I want someone to kiss me. No, like they have such a rich inner life, and yeah, their relationships is a great thing, but like it's kind of like a plus. It's kind of not the big thing that they kind of need to be happy. Like they're happy from before, and yeah, just these holes, all of these Abby Jimenez books, I think would be amazing. To have in Norwegian, I think would be very good. And also, I don't have one here, but I just kind of thought for some reason mine went from that to that. But yeah, Alisa Cool's books, none of her, as well as I know, at this point in time, are available in Norwegian, and I think all of them should. I mean, well, I've read all of them, but like most of them, like the ones I've read, should, because yeah, they're great stories. But also like the historical ones, they're great stories in themselves, but also like they tell a different side of story which you usually see. You usually see the white man fighting a war, and this is all of them. Well, sorry, all of them. 2 of them focuses on African American females in a war. I mean, it's still spy stories, but it's the females and African Americans, which yeah. I mean, yeah. Some other people say like you have to read nonfiction to understand different topics and what have you. And yeah, nonfiction is okay. Yeah, honestly, I would say as a Norwegian, and like a lot of stuff like that I read is like a lot of stuff I read is are in like English books or American or British books. And I will like say like people might ask me, oh, what is that? And I say, oh, that's blah 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 blah. And it's something I've learned from nonfiction, so from fiction books. So like the concept of Fourth of July, or I suppose other people know that, but like yeah, like this American concept like a prom or college money or stuff like that. I've learned from fiction books, so or fiction stuff. So you can learn quite a lot from that as well. Though yeah, non-fiction books is cool as well. Yeah, and then we have a few more. Then we have First Carnival. Well, this one I think actually might like. Honestly, this is probably maybe not that unlikely it will happen because it's a Rick Riordan Presents series. It's like anthology of his authors. Though that yeah, then again, okay. So Rick Riordan, all his books are available in Norwegian. All of these authors aren't. Though the first 2 Irish books are, and that's it. Norwegians apparently didn't like Arusha. It's just weird because they didn't translate past book 2. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, this one, I suppose it has some things going toward it and against it because, like, it's Rick Riordan, which is a brand. Then again, these authors aren't in Norwegian in other books. But also, like, it's short stories. And yeah, I just kind of feel like it'd be like a good way to, like, tell your 12-year-old or 10-year-old, like, okay, you have to read for school. Check out this because it's a short story, so you can just kind of like it's just small stories. Like yeah, Short story, small story. I know it is. Repeating myself here. But yeah, like if you're having a bad attention span, if you don't like to read, starting with a small story is great, and all these are action-packed, which even it better. So yeah, no way, you really should project this. I'm saying as I haven't finished it myself. I'm kind of assuming it's very good. And yeah, so this one, and then we have A Portrait of a Scotsman, or like this series. I haven't read this one myself at the moment. Might read it today. Sorry, today. But yeah, this is a historical romance with the suffragettes in England. And having this one in Norwegian, I think, will be very cool because it's a great story. But also, yeah, it's just a great story, and having it in Norwegian as well will be. I mean, you open our market to more readers, and I think Norwegian readers would love the series because it's just, yeah, so lovely. I really love it. It's so lovely. Yeah. And then we have Sarah Kuhn's books, or by like this is done in for a heroine series, which is the blah, 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 blah. It's called Heroine Complex. Well, first one is Heroine Complex, and then there's Heroine Worship, Heroine's Journey, Hollywood Heroine, which is this one, and then Haunted Heroine, Heroine. I mean, yeah. And then the last one's coming up this fall, Unsung uh, Heroine. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Heroine, hero. Yeah, you know. Yeah, this is just a lovely. I think maybe someone described this as Buffy. But in book form, I would say maybe like Buffy for adults, and I would say maybe it's kind of true because I mean, there's all sorts of evil people, but there's also all sorts of charm and romances and friendships, and yeah. I read the first one years ago because it came out years ago. That's what I didn't have to read years ago, but I did. And it's one of those books where it kind of feels like you're being hugged. Because yeah, of course a book needs conflict, but this was like so many aspects to the book that just felt so, I don't know, I just felt hugged by a book. Like it was so relatable and it was so funny and charming, and yeah, it was just like a warm blanket. Which yeah, Norwegians need to be able to read this one as well. And then you have kind of same Wayne, the Veronica Speedwell series. Oh, this isn't. Well, it's same Wayne, but yeah, this is a mystery series set in 1800s. It's not suffragette based, but I suppose Veronica Speedwell. She kind of wants girls to have rights, but she's not a suffragette in her own way per se. I don't think. Okay, I've just read the first book on this, so I can't really talk like an expert. But yeah, the first book I loved so much. So yeah, I just feel like this series definitely needs to be available in Norwegian. And now we have actually the other way around, which a few. Well, okay, and I also like lastly, and this is a sneak peek. I haven't told this yet, but yeah, the Arusha series. So the first two are in Norwegian, but the rest aren't. I suppose yeah. Sometimes when you translate stuff and it's not like sold, you don't continue the whole series. But like, what if you're 11, 10, and you can't understand English at all, and then you start this series, but you can't finish it because it's only available in the language? Like, I don't know. I kind of like if you start translating a series, finishing it. Don't stop in the middle of the series. That's mean. It's kind of mean. At least in my head. It's mean. It's mean. You don't think that then it maybe just should stick to translating standalones because they're one done. But yeah, but yeah. I mean, Norway, please translate the rest of this series because it's amazing, and the Norwegian kids need to read the whole of this series. I mean, you're just torturing them, not giving them a whole. Maybe is it like a elaborate plan to like for publishers to make Norwegian kids read better in English, like to give them a bit Norwegian, and they're like, nah, I'm not gonna give you the rest. You have to learn Norwegian. No, you have to learn English. Maybe that's it. maybe. I don't know. And then I'm going to do a few books with the other way around. Norwegian books. I kind of feel like these deserve to be available in English as well. Or like, not just English, but like in other languages than Norwegian. Well, at least I think, I suppose, unlikelihood of them existing, in Swedish or Danish isn't unlikely because, I mean, often you start by looking at the neighbors of what you're gonna translate. But like or other languages than those two, these definitely should be available in. Now I just have two books for this one, but yeah, like two series. So here we have the Anton series, Anton andre uhell, Anton og andre flokkdyr, og Anton den store. So this is about 11-year-old. Guess what it's called? Anton. Yeah, that's his name. And the first one would be Anton and other accidents, because that's kind of what it means. So this one starts as, like, the book starts with him finding out, kind of accidentally, that he wasn't a planned person. Like, his dad said, like, oh yeah, that's an accident, kind of like you were. And that kind of starts him on a journey. He kind of wants to, like, make himself useful and make a difference in the world, because he was an accident, so he kind of have, like, it kind of feels like he have to do something important in the world, because he was an accident, he wasn't meant to be in the world. So I suppose it's kind of philosophical in that way. And it's not like deep into sex talk, but yeah, his dad said, like, the condom broke, so there's, like, mention of that word. But it's not like anything deeper than that. So, like, you can read this when you're 10, 11. But I suppose if you live in a, like, prude place in the United States, probably not. Then you can't read it for before you're like 200. Because, yeah, they decide what you read. And they're so snooty. You can't read about this and this when you're so young. Americans. But yeah, it's just one of those very funny slice of life series. So yeah, that's kind of basically what the first book is about. And then the second book is kind of about Anton starting junior high and, like, being in a new school and, like, figuring out how to navigate this new school. And then the third one is blah blah blah. Yeah, the third one is about he gets a new friend who has a indoor pool, and he's kind of thinking about me becoming rich and, yeah, stuff like that. It's a trilogy, so he ends there. Unless I'm, like, mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it ends there. But yeah, these three books are just so lovely, and I think, yeah, having them in English, I think will be, or other languages as well, I think will be quite fun. Then we have a book I have talked about before. It is the Benny series. This one being Benny går igen. The first one being Benny går amok, and the third one being let me see. Blah blah blah. No, I can't remember the. Okay, yes, yeah. This just told the first two books. I'm not quite sure because there's a third one I know. I don't remember what the third one is called, but it's already out. Yeah, so the first one is kind of Home Alone based. Home Alone based. Yes, actually kind of Home Alone-ish, because Benny finds out that his family is have ordered tickets to Spain for Christmas. But this can't happen because you need a white Christmas in Norway. So he tries all this stuff for his family to don't go. He hides the plane tickets, he hides the luggage, he does all this stuff, and then his dad, I think his parents plan to go, but he's staying behind. Nope, I'm not going. And then I don't remember who, but I think it was actually the guy from travel company who kind of wants to, like, talk to his parents, and then he kind of just all sorts of traps for that guy, and it's kind of very Home Alone based and funny, like, ish. And also Benny, he's gay. So in the first book he's in a closet, in the second one he gets a boyfriend at the end. In the first one he has a crush, and the second one he gets a boyfriend. So this is the second one. I haven't read the third one yet, but yeah. Both of these are middle grades, and yeah, this yeah, I think this would just be lovely to have in English. I mean, it's just a great story, and there's also fun pictures here and there, and yeah, it's just a delight, and it's so sad it's only available in Norwegian. Well, I suppose if you want to, if you're learning Norwegian or if you're Dane and you have dare to read Norwegian, you can read it. But like for people who aren't Scandinavians, it's difficult to access. So yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the books portion. Well, books. That's not all the books, but kind of that portion of this video. And then yeah, I kind of talk about how like okay, so yeah, National Day, kind of a day about history. It's important. History is important. What have you? And I think well, like when I was a kid, I liked historical books. Like I've went away from it, and lately I can't be going more into it, or like I've been reading more historical romances. And yeah, I mean there are Norwegian books about history, but like most of them are about the Second World War. Some of them, yeah, some of them about like the 20th century. But yeah, again, a lot of them aren't that good. But I'm kind of thinking like, is this author Gudrun, I think her writing a book about the females in Norway, or like making a series about the females in Norway who got the Norwegian vote. And right now I'm just blanking on names. But yeah, there's some very important females in Norwegian history around 1913, which was when females in Norway got the vote. Uh, I'm having names on the tip of my tongue, but I can't for life remember. Okay, yeah, but yeah, there's some very important females that should definitely get more attention. And I don't know, I kind of always like how like sometimes when you take real life events and then or real life persons and then write books around them. And I think I mean because this is also like an amazing author, Gudrun. She's also written at this point in time one adult book. She's probably writing more, but yeah, I'm thinking her writing, but like with a historical setting, would just be yeah amazing. It would be very fun. And then also like maybe having some Norwegian set books during the Danish time because we were 600 years under Denmark, a part of Denmark. We were 200 years under Sweden, but yeah, a part of Denmark. I think it would be fun to just kind of have more Norwegian historical books in general. I mean, we have some, but we most of what we have are based in the Second World War, and some during the like beginning of this century. Oh, sorry, last century. I'm still weird to like think we're in the third century, but it is what it is. It is what we are. But yeah, I kind of think like more Norwegian historical books would just be so fun. Yeah, I would really like that. Publishers, I don't know if you're watching this, but if you're, please give that to me, please, please. Yeah. And then so yeah, that, and then uh, this is kind of like a left turn. It's not a left turn. It's a slight left turn. But I'm now kind of going to talk about how like okay, so these have been like book based, but I'm going to talk about how like I kind of think that would be fun to like have Norwegian TV and books, sorry, and movies, kind of historical based, kind of the same thing where the books that was set, movies that are set during the Danish time or during the Swedish time. I mean, yeah, at this point we have some like we have one TV series that was based around when the constitution was made. But also that's just the one. We don't have anything more. And like I think looking towards England, where I kind of feel like you have so many historical great dramas based around real events and times and stuff. And like there's so much interesting Norwegian history. But is it dramatized? No. Well, some of it, yeah. But not all of it. Oh, I suppose not that they need to dramatize all of the history. But like I think they want to dramatize more of it. I think that would be quite fun. And also I kind of think like how yeah, I have this idea, but I just can't. Yeah, like for example, in England, you have Blackadder, historical sitcom. You also have. I'm blanking out. Having Allo Allo. I mean, which is also a historical sitcom. Like in Norway, Yeah, we have. Well, yeah, yeah, we have had some TV series, but like mostly I would say it's movies, but it's based around real life persons. Max Manus, there's like he was a Second World War hero. We have Amundsen based around Roald Amundsen, and then we have Kontiki based around that journey. So like they're all based around these great men. And like firstly, Norwegian females also did a lot of cool stuff. Can we have more movies with us? But like secondly, all of them were like drama movies. And like I don't know, I think it would just be fun to have more historical funny stuff. I mean, a lot of funny stuff happened, and like Blackadder, it's yes, Blackadder isn't real, but like the setting is real. I mean, it's based around real things. I think I don't know. I kind of want Blackadder people, like some Norwegian comedians, to write that stuff for Norway. I think that would be so cool. And yeah, that's kind of my hope. And yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. That's it, really, for today's video. Became a half-hour thingy, but yeah, I hope you liked it, and yeah, enjoyed my little nice festive party clothes. This is actually a dress, but I'm not gonna show you the whole view to it because I can't be bothered. A Norwegian flag pin. I do have like Norway has a national costume. I also have national costume, but it's kind of big to take on. And like at the moment, I'm not around people, so I can't really be bothered this year to wear it. I'm going to be wearing it in a wedding later for a cousin. So yeah, and yeah, I think that's kind of more or less it. Yeah, I just said that's it. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, if you would say like if you have a favorite Norwegian band, book, movie, or what have you, it'd be fun. Or maybe if you just want to tell me out of something fun you did today, or about your national day. Maybe a lot of English Americans are watching this, and it's just 4th of July. But maybe you have a specific memory to your national day. Maybe you want to talk to me about that, or maybe you don't want to say something at all, and that's fine. And yeah, I'm not gonna be seeing you tomorrow, barring anything else happens. And I would say kind of have a little funny. I have an interesting video planned. It's not book based. Well, it's not directly book based, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's also a current theme, and yeah, I'm just gonna tease you with that. And bye.